Well, as you can see, you need specialist equipment for gaming in pure snow conditions, but you don't need to spend a lot of money. Here all we've done is got a normal particle mask available for about £2. We've got a disposable white suit, which is an overgarment. Wear it over the top of your waterproofs, and that's basically allowing you to blend in without having to buy a new waterproof layer specifically for snow. These are available for about only £5. And lastly, we've got the rifle. We've got this PVC tape here. This is really for plumbing. A lot of people use it on the hop systems as well, interestingly. And here, this is a carrier bag. That's all it is. Simple carrier bag. See the recycle? That's what we're doing, we're recycling. So we've got the rifle there. And that cost about £1 for the tape. So all in all, around £8. It's nothing, is it? So you don't need to go out there and spend a lot of money buying specialist equipment for it. Unless you're using mesh lenses, you're going to have a lot of problems with steaming up and moisture, as you probably already know. So I highly recommend using a mesh set of glasses or a mask or anything, as long as you can get down and still use your optics. That's important too. So you've got all your equipment, you've got your gloves, highly important. Okay, mine aren't white, but the neoprene. See, they've got shooting fingers come off. Now neoprene's excellent. These sort of gloves, you might get wet, but you'll still have warm hands, and that's vital in winter. If you can't feel your hands, you can't feel your trigger, you can't really shoot or operate the gun, then your game's over. So you've got to look after your hands. In fact, your feet are just as important as well. So extremities, you need good thermal base layer on your socks. I've also got on a set of Gore-Tex over socks, and they're there just to add an extra layer, insulate me, and obviously keep me dry. So wearing a lot of layers, mesh lenses. Moving on to my top layer, I've got a base layer, then I've got a wind stopper, then I've got a bivvy jacket rated to minus 25 degrees, then I've got a branded Gore-Tex over jacket, and then obviously this white oversuit. So that's 5 layers on my top. I've not actually got a hat on, but I can add a woolly hat underneath here if my temperature starts to drop, and that's how I regulate my heat, by adding or removing a hat. You can also wear a neck gaiter or a head over, whatever you want to call it. That's also a vital item. It'll suddenly allow you to trap all that heat that normally escapes through your collar, and it'll warm you up even when you sat still. So key items to have in your pockets. But as you can see, other than that, I'm very minimal. I'm not carrying any webbing, I'm not carrying any kind of pouches. I'm just working off my inside Gore-Tex jacket pockets, and I'm trying to be as minimal as possible. You've got here, you're crawling through the snow, you see the target, you fire your pellets, miss wildly, because you've got snow in your barrel. Keep an eye on when you're crawling that your barrel doesn't drop down into the snow. It's quite difficult. You need to be crawling at a different sort of angle with your rifle to what you'd normally be doing. Take care, that's vital. Now you're here in the snow, you're going to have to watch your background all the time. Now you've got a white suit on, unless you're against the snow, you're going to be standing out, you're going to be highly visible. So if there's a dark background behind you, such as here, you're going to struggle. So you want to be sticking to the lower ground, the dips, the bits where snow collects and drifts. You don't want to be out on the crests of the hills or up by the tree lines if there's no snow on the trees. So depending on the situation and the wind, if it's blowing it off the trees, you need to be avoiding those areas. You don't want to be walking around, especially if you're in a white suit and it's not a pure white environment. So decided to go down on the deck wearing one of these suits. It's going to have to be your game style for most of the day. Stick at it. So I advise you want to be using those different weights, those weights you don't normally use in summer. You can get Mad Bull 4.3s, you can get Mad Bull 4s. They're a bit tan, I use them in summer. Or you can get Mad Bull 3.6s in green. Or you're going to be looking at black ammunition if you're using an electric gun. All those pellets that people complain about, this is the time to use them. You can actually see them at longer ranges. So you've got to be thinking ahead and have a stock of ammunition specifically for these kind of events. Gaming in these kind of conditions is all about conserving energy. As you've just seen, crawling across them snowfields is much harder than crawling across them just in normal mud or dry conditions even. It's far more sapping of your energy. You've got to be using your body to spread your weight out all the time. If you put your hand down, your hand's going to puncture through the snow and it's just going to create more movement and use more energy. So you need to be using your arms across your body. You don't want to be pushing down, you'll go through the snow. You need to use your arms across, and that's how you're going to pull yourself across the snow. Obviously, yeah, your toes, you want them to dig in and push you off. So yeah, have your feet down. That often helps because you might have black boots such as me. Burying them in the snow obviously as you're moving does help conceal them. And it's all about taking your time just as normal, moving when there's wind, moving when there's sound. So you're out here, you've got all your clothing, you've got your pellets that you're going to use, you're all zeroed, but unless you're running on a spring gun you might encounter problems. Obviously gas, everyone knows when it gets cold it's very erratic, power drops, inconsistent. People go on to HPA, fair enough. CO2 might still have problems when it's really cold. Gas guns, something I leave at home to be honest. In these kind of conditions, I move on to a spring gun. Might not be as powerful, I might have to make a little bit more movement to cock it, but it's just that much more reliable and consistent in the snow that's what I'm going to use. All of this crawling, it's all well and good, but the amount of tracks that you leave in the snow is unbelievable. So if you're planning to move away from the rest of your team, if you have a team, then you're going to struggle because it's quite likely the further you move, the more that someone's going to cross your trail, work out which way you're going and come up behind you. It's not hard, and 9 times out of 10 if they do that, they're going to get you. So you've got to be mixing up your movement. Sometimes you're crawling, sometimes you're upright stalking. Now the reason why you're upright stalking is you're going to use your tracks to deceive people. What you're going to do is, if you come across a main thoroughfare or areas you feel that other people are going to be using in a game, you can stalk through that area and actually stalk through backwards. Now I know that sounds a bit daft, but depending on what's happening in the game, if it's early on, you've got more opportunity to do this and leave false trail. See, they're only a small deer. Say maybe a yearling. Someone might find my trail and pick it up, but I'm going to be moving in such a way that I'm going to be actually covering my own trail at times. Now you're going to be doing that is moving in a figure of S. So as you move down, you move back round and you observe your own track, and you move down again and you observe your own track, and you keep moving in arcs. That way you can use your own tracks to lead people into an ambush. So you've got to be using your own tracks to your advantage yet again. You've got to be trying to minimise how they're going to compromise you and give away your position. So think ahead, especially as you're crossing areas on your site that you know that other people are going to be moving through as well, and try and do some kind of deception or lay some kind of track. And when you discover someone else's tracks, you can actually put your feet into their tracks, try and conceal your own, lay some kind of trap. Anyway, I'm moving off now. I'm going to try and find some shelter.